close, nice and close.
How's the framing?
It's framing all right, we look fabulous. Yeah. Hi, I'm Bridget from the AU Review, and we're here at day 2 of Face the Music in Melbourne. I'm joined right now by the very intriguing Kirin J Callinan. How are you?
Good, Bridget. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Now, you've just finished up doing a pedalling session, hey? How did that go down?
It went down surprisingly well. It was off the cuff. Hadn't prepared much. I mean, they weren't really paying me enough to prepare anything, so I just kind of, it went fine. I'm feeling good now.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Good. What do you think people got out of it?
I mean, the idea was simply to demystify the process or any sort of, fear people might have with using this sort of technology. It's very simple and very easy to use, and that was just basically the idea was to show how easy it is to use pedals, and anybody can be a
Pedalist?
anybody can be a pedalist, a peddler.
Peddler, that's a good way of putting it. Tell me about your live shows, because you use a lot of pedals, don't you? I read you use like 17 or something, or was that for just recording purposes?
No, I mean it differs, but sometimes more than that. It's absurd.
Like how many?
So over 20 sometimes. Yeah, it's really not. It's not very practical.
No.
It's not very practical to tour with. So many things could go wrong. They're very heavy. It's a real pain in the ass, actually. I'm
Why do you do it?
It's a very good question. I ask myself that often.
How have you found, I guess, in terms of recording, because it is, creating layered music, translating that into a live setting, is it harder than what you thought it would be?
I don't really try to think about it as having to translate the live thing. The live thing is different to the recorded thing. When making records, you try to make the song the best it can, or the recording the best it can, and then for a live show you try to make the show as engaging and the best it can be as well. So the two have very little to do with each other. Sure, people want to hear the record sometimes, but also it's, if you can better that, then you do that as well. So approach it differently. Yeah.
I think you're doing all right. 2014 has been like an awesome year for you. You've been pretty busy. What have been some of the highlights for you?
Well, I'm working on a new record at the moment, which I couldn't have done without a successful crowdfunding campaign.
Yes.
So having that support from people around the world is pretty amazing. Very unsure as to whether, you don't know how much people are going to get behind it. So that felt great. I also did a tour around the States with a fellow named Colin Moccasin, who's a very good friend, a very close friend, especially now after that tour. We were just his band and my band all in the one tiny little bus traveling around America. Yeah, it was a really beautiful thing. I guess another very rewarding thing is last Friday, the new Jack Ladder and the Dreamlanders record came out, which is, it's my other baby with Jack or Tim, and the rest of the Dreamlanders, and it's very proud of that record. So that came out on Friday. We just played our first shows in Sydney and Melbourne together since 2009.
Oh,
so
wow, 5 years.
It's been 5 years since we had the original lineup all on stage at the same time in Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah, wow.
So that's very special. So I guess this year has been big.
That's been a bit big. Embracism was one of the top albums for a lot of people last year. How have you done anything differently for this new release, or is there anything that you learnt from the debut that you've kind of approached?
I learnt a lot from that process. Learnt what not to do as much as what to do. This record is, I think, on one hand, a totally different beast. Very sophisticated, I think, much more ambitious, and a bit of a mystery to me as well. I'm kind of making it up as I go along, of course. But on the other hand, in a way, it's the same record. I don't know if anyone's going to even see that, but for me, it's like the same record, but 2 years on, growing up.
Awesome. When can we expect to hear it?
I'm in no rush. It's pretty close. I'd say it's kind of 80% done. But like I said, the new Dreamlanders album just came out on Friday, and we've signed some contracts. God help us in America. So we're going to be obliged to go over there and tour that. And I'm having fun playing with Jack Ladder and the guys. So I'll tour that record and then put my one out maybe second half of next year, I think.
Awesome, sounds good. I wanted to ask you, this is a bit of a different question. It's regarding your music videos. There was an interesting article that came out the other day on the Vine, more so in regard to mainstream pop music videos. There was the notion that they should receive more funding for their videos. This great article came out saying it's not about funding, it's about great ideas, and they used Landslide used that as a reference of a really great video that's got a good concept and not necessarily $1 million video. Yeah, what would your stance be on that kind of issue in Australia?
I mean, it's all there. That video cost me no more than $1,000. It's no excuse.
Yeah, there is no excuse.
In fact, these limitations is a great thing to have sometimes, because it forces you to use your noggin. So
use your noggin.
I mean, that's obvious. You don't throwing money at something doesn't make it good.
Yeah.
It can help though.
Yeah,
it is nice.
It is
Feel
nice.
free to throw money at it. It'll be good.
I think that's a great message for Face the Music across the weekend, is to use your noggin. So you put that through very well. Thank you very much for your time, Kirin. Pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure.
Awesome.
Thanks.